I need to be honest with you. As a neurodivergent adult who was not diagnosed until my late 30s, I've had to come to grips with the fact that smartphones are especially addictive for me. And it's a really big challenge that I have personally faced, that I'm still facing. And instead of waiting until I have it all completely under control, in today's podcast episode, I wanted to be really real with you and explain to you a lot of what I'm doing, the progress that I've made, and some of my goals moving forward, so that if you happen to struggle sometimes with using your phone way more than you intend to, it can kind of normalize it, take away some of that shame so that we can open up your brain to more learning and help you make progress also. We haven't met. Hi, I'm Emily Hamblin, host of the Enlightening Motherhood podcast, neurodivergent mom of four, emotion coach, and teacher. I absolutely love learning about the brain and emotional regulation. And learning about screens as an extension of that has been super interesting. Not sure if you've ever experienced this, but my husband's actually the one that pointed out to me probably a couple of years ago that when I'm on my phone, even if I'm doing something good, even if like I'm sending a message to someone who's sick saying, "Can I bring you a meal?" Like something that's a good use of my phone, right? That when the kids get a bit rowdy and they have some of their more challenging behaviors, that I tend to have a much bigger reaction. I've also noticed how easy it is to get stuck in doom scrolling, to hop on my phone just to send a quick message and to end up scrolling social media for 45 minutes. And there's also studies that show that just having a phone in your hand, even if you're not using it, can make people feel like you're not paying full attention to them, that you're being distracted by your phone. And honestly, right now I am holding my phone and I'm just seeing like my wonderful picture of my family pop up. And that is actually distracting me. Like, wait, what am I saying? So, if you're struggling with this, it's okay. If you're not, then this might be interesting to you. If you're raising a neurodivergent child or no neurodivergent people, which is probably everyone, then it can help to give you some more compassion and some ideas moving forward. So, it's a hard thing. Like I said, we live in a world where I personally need a lot of technology. I run an online business. It helps tens of thousands of families around the world. And I want to keep doing that. The impact that I'm making, thanks to the internet, thanks to my smartphone, thanks to my computer, has been astounding. I still feel like a little girl. I'm 40, but I still feel like a little girl. This little girl in a corner closet turned office of her home is having such a big impact. And so I'm grateful for the internet for that. And it's something that I need to, much like my emotional regulation, I need to work to make sure that I'm the one in control, rather than having my technology be what's in control of me. So today we're going to have a fantastic conversation about 3 specific tools that have helped me and are helping me in overcoming my phone addiction. And I hope and trust that they'll be very valuable for you too. Okay, let's hop in with number 1. Number 1, the very biggest tool that has been so incredibly helpful for us is to balance compassion and reality. Because if I were to say to you, I just want you to notice what comes up in your body, in your brain, in your nervous system when I say to you, "Hey, do you have a phone addiction?" I'm curious to know, did you feel like calm? Like, "No, I don't." Did you feel defensive? Like, "No, I don't." Did you feel guilty? Like, "Oh, yes, I do." Right? If we're going to either of the extremes of like defense or this guilt, there's a good chance that there's not a balance of compassion and reality in there. And this is really important with anything that we're trying to make progress on, that we meet ourselves with compassion. Like, yeah, it makes total sense. It makes total sense why, for me, I'm sucked into a cell phone so easily. Why it makes sense for us as human beings, right? Like, literally, they are made to be addictive. They're made to want you, or they're made to make you want to stay on and scroll and not get off. And the algorithms of Facebook and TikTok, they are meant to suck you in. And I can tell you, people making reels and posting content, they're trying to get you to watch all of their reels. And then the social media rewards them by giving you even better ones that hook you in, right? So it makes total sense. It makes total sense. And at the same time, like I said, I need that technology. We just hosted the Raising Emotionally Healthy Neurodivergent Families Summit. And my goodness, we had thousands of families from around the world tune in. We had almost 1,000 in our pop-up Facebook group that I ran live. And it was this incredible experience. The comments we got from people about how much it helped their family, those that purchased the lifetime access and they're still accessing it. They're saying, this is helping and I'm listening to every word. This is exactly what we needed. Incredible. And so I would go on to moderate that Facebook group. And guess what I'd do? I'd go on, I'd moderate, I'd post a few things like who our speakers are going to be. And then what would I keep doing? I'd just keep scrolling. Like, I'm just going to scroll and read one more thing on Facebook until suddenly it was on for like an hour. I kid you not on the time, even if it's just like 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Right? That's a long time just to post one message, don't you think? Especially as a mom of 4, because I tend to do this when my children are around. So then my children are looking at mom on a phone and starting to think that this is like a normal thing. This is just what we do. Once we get a phone, we're just on it when we're around people. And so it would be really easy for me to just spiral into guilt about that. Oh my goodness, look at my lack of self-discipline. Seriously, I'm such a bad example for my kids. There's no hope. I just can't do it. And that's not going to help either, right? And so we want to start with compassion, like, yeah, it makes sense why this is a struggle for me. And the reality is that I don't want it to continue to be a struggle. And so do you feel that like balance your brain might offer if you're struggling with this or someone else? There's typically an initial like defensive and or guilt. For me, it's like it would boomerang between the two. And if we can consciously and intentionally bring ourselves kind of to that center of compassion and reality, that's going to give us a fantastic foundation for actually making progress. Strategy number 2 is to leverage technology to our benefit. If you have an iPhone like me, you know you have the screen time limits. That worked for me for a couple of years. I set up screen time limits for myself, and then I had my husband put in a password so that I couldn't, I couldn't get extra time on like Facebook or even sending an email at 11:45 at night, and other habits that I was falling into that were just so hard to give up. I was like, I want stronger boundaries for me. And so I gave him my password, and then I would go to him and be like, hey, I just remembered a really important email I'm going to send you. Can you give me more time? Or if you were already asleep, then I wouldn't want to wake him up. So I'm like, oh, I guess I'll go to sleep tomorrow. That worked really well for a while for me. Then I started to find like ways around it. There's that 1 more minute feature. So I would do like 1 more minute here and 1 more minute there until suddenly I'm still doing 45 minutes. My brain unchecked was just going down that rabbit hole. So there's a lot we can do, to change that wiring of our brain, to change the subconscious and everything that's leading to it. And that's like a long-term game, and it's what I'm working on long-term. I want something short-term. So what I'm using now is an Opal app, OPAL. I'll drop a referral link for you in the show notes if you want to check it out. They'll immediately offer you their paid version. I'm using the free version, and it's fantastic right now. I may one day upgrade to their paid version. It looks quite good. I'm starting out on their free version, and I really like it. It just makes it harder for me to get distracted. And if, for example, I have parameters set up during my workday that I can't get on certain apps until after 3 p.m. And then I have it set up again when I'm trying to get ready for bed. I have it in the morning so I don't get on and scroll first thing in the morning. I want to read paper scriptures instead. That's one of my personal goals. And I'm going to set up another one. So right after school, I can't get on certain apps. I really like it. I really like it. I feel a lot of autonomy myself. I don't feel threatened. I can still get out of it. I'm determining how hard it is to get they call it take a break. And as you click on like take a break, it reminds you to breathe and to meditate and to be mindful. So it's a really good app. There's a lot of others out there. I know there's like a dumb phone app that I'm considering looking into if or when the Opal app novelty wears off. So there's a lot that you can look into, but as a warning, it's so easy to go down a rabbit hole and spend like an hour, 2 hours of trying to find the perfect app. So let me make this easy for you. There is no perfect app. None. There's none that's going to be perfect. You can just start with one, just like the first, maybe if you want, you can compare 2, but give yourself like 10 minutes and compare them for maybe 10 minutes, set a timer when it goes off. Just make the choice. You're going to like either one and you're not going to like either one. Does that make sense? So Don't worry about that spinning and indecision and overthinking that, especially as neurodivergent people, we tend to fall into. Don't worry about that because none of them will be perfect. There's going to be something you don't like about all of them and something you do like about all of them. So just start with one, start using it. And if you find you don't like it, just uninstall it and go on to the next one. Okay. And so that's strategy number 2 is to leverage technology in our benefit. There's a lot of strategies outside of this that I haven't quite looked into that just don't work for my lifestyle, like plugging my phone in another room. It doesn't always work because I actually, like my kids and I love to listen to audiobooks and music on it. And so, I'm still figuring out other things. And there are a lot of tools. If you have them, please find me on Instagram at Emily Hamblin Coaching. Send me a DM with what has worked for you because I want to hear it. I want to hear it. I know that this isn't all of them. But we're going to go on to number 3, tool number 3 that has been fantastic for my family. Like, of all the rules, I think number 1 was kind of laying the foundation. Number 2 is like, yeah, it's helping. But number 3 has been phenomenal. And that is to do a weekly tech fast. Now, I got this idea from Sarah Boyd. We had her on the podcast not long ago. I can put the link in the show notes for our interview. But she wrote a fantastic book, Turn Down the Noise. And she shared a lot of research around the reason that technology tends to be addictive, what happens in our brains, the dopamine or the reward center of the brain, and how it starts to become desensitized to the screen to the point where if we don't have the screen in our hands, our brain craves it more and more and more just to achieve the same level of dopamine or pleasure that we would usually have without even having that screen there. So it is actually quite addictive. Scientifically, I realized that's when reading that book was actually partially when I realized I might have a phone addiction. And as I have a teenager who's on screens more and more, and I began to worry about him following my suit of emotional dysregulation, I'm working on breaking cycles of some other things. And this is one, like, I guess, it started with me maybe. And I kind of want it to end with me. So I let my son know about what all of the research says around a tech fast and what technology does to our brain. And I let him know the biggest thing that research has shown to help our brains not establish a dependency on screens, where our brain depends on a screen to feel basic pleasure. I mean, like dopamine, it's not like, oh, pleasure. It's just like basic enjoyment, even, right? Is to go 24 hours a week where you don't look at a screen. Not even doing good things on a screen where you're not looking at it because your brain will literally reset the dopamine levels during that time. And again, this is quite challenging, but I spoke with my son a lot about it. And when I presented it at first, he was very unhappy, as you can imagine, kind of rejected the idea. He might have felt like I was trying to blame him. Maybe there was some defensiveness, and it's totally understanding why that would be there. So I gave him some time, and then I brought it up again, and finally it was like, hey, look, and my son only has a Gab phone. I actually don't know that I recommend Gab. If you have a better, child-safe phone that you'd recommend, let me know, because I'm not loving Gab, but it's what we have. And we had a lot of parameters, but now adding this parameter of, going it 1 day a week, he wasn't too happy about it. And I kind of let him know, look, this is going to be the boundary. How it happens, you have so much say. And at the end of the day, I can't in good conscience not have us do this because it's so important. So he agreed that he and I switched phones on Sunday mornings. We switched them in the morning and then we switch them back in the evening. So it's not a full 24 hours. It would be ideal if we worked towards that. We just haven't been able to yet. But it's working. The first few weeks were rough, really rough, lots of resistance. But as it's become routine, it's really become something that we both naturally do. And you know what? Sundays are just so much more joyful again in our house. I mean, I've loved Sundays for a long time. It's one of my favorite days of the week. We're a religious family. We go to church. We come home. We talk about what we learned. We do we call it a home church lesson with our kids. Always try to serve others on Sunday. Like Sunday to us is the Sabbath, and we love it. And now we have what research refers to as a tech Sabbath. So again, we don't do the full 24 hours, but it's so nice. Like we're interacting with each other. We're taking more naps. My teenager, he hasn't hardly ever taken naps since he was 3, right? And he took a nap the other day on a Sunday. He's like, I don't know, my brain just relaxed. I'm like, yeah, I think we're really overstimulated just from the screen, right? And the few times that I do need to get on my screen, by the way, I put on, I don't know what they call it, but I took off the colors, so it's all black and white, so it's less rewarding to my brain. But I need to tell you, the first week we did that tech fast where my son and I switched, and I say he was grudging about it, but that's not fair because I was way more grudging. Not like, we have different parts of our brain. My prefrontal cortex or my thinking brain was like, yeah, 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 we're going to do this. But the rest of my brain was like freaking out. My nervous system was freaking out. Like, but what if someone messages us? And what if it's important? And I'm like, I'm cheating. I'm still wearing my Apple Watch. If it's important, I'll get the phone call or the message. Like, I'm kind of still cheating here. I just don't have the full smartphone. And my brain was still like freaking out. But what if, and I couldn't even come up with good what ifs. And it's freaking out because it really was addicted to that phone. It just had it every day in its hands, in its eyes for years, except when we went camping and didn't have service. But beyond that, it was a pretty constant thing to my brain, even though I was doing good things on it. And so that first day I gave it to my son, and I kid you not, for like the next 20, 30 minutes, my fingers were like twitching, like going to just like subconsciously grab it. And if you look at your stats, you want a humbling stat, look at how many times a day you pick up your phone. Don't swing to the guilt or the defensiveness. Just like notice, like, wow, I do pick that up a lot, probably a lot more than what you realized. So that's what we've done. And even now I pick it up and my brain's like, oh, yes, it's that phone. That opportunity to put it away where we can't even see it, we can't touch it, we can't feel it. It's really common for our brains to freak out, especially at first. But now we fall in more into a routine. It's something I look forward to, like that cleanse, right? That reset of my brain. And it's something our whole family is enjoying. My husband, I didn't even invite him to join us, and he's been joining us lately. And he does not have nearly the same kind of challenge with being on a screen or getting sucked into a screen like I do. He's also neurotypical. And so I'm sure I need to do more research, but I would believe that has something to do with it. But it's been worth it. It's been really worth it. So I highly recommend, of the 3 tools, definitely tool number 1, balance the compassion and reality. If you can, start a tech fast. 24 hours is ideal according to the research, but if you can only do like 4 hours and then extend it out to 7 or 8 or 12, do what you can to try to work towards that. I just highly recommend it for all people, especially for neurodivergent. And if you're going to try to enforce it on your kids and you're not doing it yourself, good luck. Kids are going to call you out on that one way or another. We got to join them on this. We really do. And it's rewarding. It's so rewarding. Whether it's emotional regulation, whether it's learning to clean my room, to eat healthy, right? All the things that I want from my kids. When I join them on the journey, just 10x's it, maybe 100 or 1,000x's it, right? It really magnifies it when we don't try to have our kids do something we're not working on ourselves, but when we join them in the journey and they see it's hard for us and they see it's messy for us and they see we're not getting it perfect, but we're trying and we're making progress. What a gift to give our child. So I trust that this has been helpful for you today. If this has been helpful and you haven't yet left me a review, please head on over and leave us a review. We love reading your reviews. So let's review. Speaking of reviews, let's review the 3 strategies or tools that are really helping me while I'm on this journey of overcoming my screen addiction. Number 1, balancing compassion and reality. Number 2, leveraging technology to our benefit. And don't be afraid to switch it up. Number 3, big one, engage in a weekly tech fast. Aim for 24 hours, but start wherever you can. I am so glad that you have joined me here today and you made it to the end of an episode, which means you're an extra rock star parent. I love that you're working on raising an emotionally healthy family. I love the dedication that you're showing to your child by being here today. I am so appreciative of it. I know that your efforts matter, that you're going to see proof of that if you keep going, as you keep going, not if, because I know you are, right? As you keep going, you'll look back and you're going to see so much evidence and so much gratitude for the efforts that you're putting now towards making progress as a human, as a parent, and with your family. Okay, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope that you have a beautiful week.